I want you to know this about cheating. Cheating does not always start with action because sometimes cheating usually starts with attention. And so you now have this feeling of a discussion that is too exciting. You now have this feeling, and so you think of a particular person too often, and before you know it, your heart is in a place where your relationship did not permit it to be there. And the question is, so what really happens when you feel like cheating? Now this is what happens. Number one, cheating usually starts with emotional before it graduates to physical. Okay? And so you now have this emotional attachment with someone. And so you dream about this person, you think about this person, you imagine how maybe you'll be making love with this person, you imagine how you discuss, you laugh, you imagine the good and exciting times you have with this person. You always have this person in your memory. And so emotionally, you are not attached to this person because you are always imagining yourself being with this person, discussing with this person, replaying your conversations with this person over and over again, and seeing the exciting and good part of this person that you wish to share with. Okay, and so before you ever cheat, it happens emotionally before it gets physically. Okay, now you start holding small things, meaning when you want to start cheating, when you have this feeling of cheating, you now start to hide small things, meaning you now start uh, hiding to make calls. You now start passwording your phone. You now start doing things secretly. You don't open up anymore. You understand? You hide a lot of things that you used to open up with your partner before, and that is because another person have come into your life emotionally, and so you start hiding things that you are not supposed to hide from the beginning, okay? And so when you are doing all this, you will know that you are really having this feeling of cheating. Now, the third thing that you really start doing is you begin to compare your partner to someone else. What happens when you start having this feeling of cheating? You start having comparison. You compare your partner with this new person that you've met that has occupied your emotions, has occupied your mind, your spirit, and your body. You start comparing the both people. You compare your partner and this new person you've met. And the fact is, you've known your partner for so long, and this person is a new person. And guess what? When you meet a new person, the person tries to buy you, and so the person always plays this good person to you. And so when you are doing this comparison, you will see that this new person you are falling in love with is scoring higher than your partner. And that is because there are so many things that you've not known about this new person you are falling in love with. And so you know them about your partner. And so when you're doing the comparison, you get to realize that your partner is no longer good enough for you. It's like you've been wasting your time. It's like you've been sleeping on bike, and so you will now see reasons to be emotionally attached with the new person you've met. And that is it. It's a reality. I know right now you might be looking me with one eye, but it's the reality. Trust me. Your partner you've known for a while, and so you know the good part of your partner, you also know his disadvantage. But the new person you've met, you are not that close to the person. And so those things that the qualities that that person lack, you are not seeing it because you are falling in love with the person. And so all you see is the good part of this person that has enveloped you. And so you are not drawing the conclusion of calling it a quit in your relationship to start with a new one, because you want to feel in this new atmosphere, in this new person that you've come to really see. Okay, and so that is what really happened. Now, the next thing is, you know, something inside of you is really probably unfulfilled. And so it reveals that there is an emotional neglect in place, lack of communication in place, boredom is in place, and insecurity and the desire for validation is now taking place in your life. Therefore, you really need to be conscious. You really need to be aware, and then you have to pause for a moment and then think deeply before you destroy your own life and what you built for years, or what you built for a while. You don't use your own hand to destroy it, because it's easier to destroy than for you to build a relationship. A relationship that you built for years, you can actually destroy it within a second. And so at this point, you just have to be mindful of whatever you are doing so that you don't end up regretting later, so that you don't labor in life. Because when you build a relationship, you have invested a lot into that relationship. You've invested your time, you've invested your feelings and your emotions, you've invested your resources, life, you've invested, in short, every and anything you can think of into it. And so you must be mindful, you must be conscious in whatever you are doing, so that you don't end up building that relationship just for another to come and enjoy. Okay, and so you have to really be careful. That is what I really have to tell you for now. Now, the next thing is, because you've started already shitting emotionally, you now have this guilt in you. And so because you now have this guilt in you, what happens? You start to change in your behavior. And so you won't be the kind of person you used to be. Maybe you are this type that used to be polite with your partner. Now you will be so rude in talking to him. Maybe you are the type that is so respectful, but because you've now found someone new that you are feeling attached to more, you now start disrespecting your partner. Your character will change. Maybe you are this person that is open and you are free with your finances. Because you are not emotionally attached to someone else, you will start having plan B. You will start seeing reason to start hoarding your finances, to start hiding your resources from your partner. And so you will change. Maybe you and your partner are this type that you often have sex because you are not emotionally attached to someone else. Guess what? When your partner taps you, that it's time to do that thing. What happens? You start giving silly excuses. Why? Your mind is no longer in the relationship. You will not be feeling irritating by your partner. You won't be comfortable with your partner again. You will find reasons to always be giving excuses because your mind is no longer there. And all the things you used to do with your partner, you see yourself deviating, you see yourself doing things that ordinarily you wouldn't have done. You will now start talking to him rudely. You start comparing him with others. You start making him to feel that he's not enough for you or she's not enough for you. And so that is that. You are going to change. When you've seen someone else, when you're not emotionally attached to someone else, you can't pretend. You can't do as if nothing is happening. It is going to show in your behavior. You don't find exciting to be with your partner anymore. His company is no longer enjoyable to you because you are not emotionally attached to someone else. And so the way and manner you treat him is going to change. Everything that has to connect with him is going to change the way you treat it. Why? Because your mind is deviating from the relationship. You are not emotionally attached to someone else. And all this I have shared with you is real and is live. And that is why I want you to know that we keep asking ourselves this one wrong question over and over again, which is, can I really cheat? Instead of us to ask ourselves these four important questions, which are: number one, why am I emotionally drifting? That is number one important question. The second important question is, what am I avoiding? It is very important for you to answer this question. The third question is this relationship really repairable? Is there anything that you can really do about this, your relationship that is crashing, to save it? That is an important question. And then the fourth question that I think we really need to ask ourselves is, am I seeking escape instead of honesty? These are important questions we really need to ask ourselves, but rather we ignore it and always ask the question that is not important. Can I shit? That is really not important. What is important is the four questions I disclose to you right now. Now, sometimes the strongest thing that you can really do is not to follow every of your emotion accordingly, because it is not every feeling that you have that deserves your decision. And sometimes, maturity is really choosing honesty before you really destroy yourself. Look at this feeling you're having and then think over it deeply. Does it worth you even thinking about it? Think deeply of the sacrifices you and your partner have made for each other. Look at those moments that you stood for each other, not just a random person that comes around that shows you kindness, and then you forget about all the good times and all the tough moments that you guys really shared together. Trust me, so many persons have deviated. So many persons are living their lives in regret today. Why? They never thought deeply before they took that step they took. And today they are in a journey of no return. They can go back to their partner and they can't even come out of the crazy relationship that they have gotten themselves into. Right now, if I was able to communicate with you and if this video really makes some sense to you, I want you to like this video. I want you to share this video. And if you really love what I am doing and you want to support my hustle, I want you to subscribe to this channel and then follow me up so that whenever I upload new content like this, you are not going to miss out. Until next time, I want you to always think deeply before you take any action in your relationship so that you will not end up regretting. Don't go nowhere. I'm going to see you in my next video. Take good care of yourself.